Hello, Sylvia Gorenszach here, and I'm a Gel Moment independent distributor. How's everybody doing today? So I thought I would cover one more look for Valentine's Day, which is more of on the neutral side, using more neutral colors. And this is it right here. So we're going to be creating an ombre on the edge using two different colors. I have Raven's Kiss, which is the black, and then I have Chandelier here. The base color doesn't really matter what you're using. I'm using Divine on my nails today, so we're going to do with that. This is actually oh, Pretty Please and Unspoken Love. So I was just playing around with some colors, but there's two different ways of doing this ombre, and let's get right to it. Okay, so we're going to be doing an ombre on basically each one of these fingers, but I'm going to be using two different tools. One of them is an actual ombre brush that I got from Madame Glam. I really like the way that this works. You can use the fan brush out of our creativity kit that Gel Moment provides as well. I just like this one because it's more of a square tip, and I find that there's a bit more control with it. So what we're going to do is grab our short striper brush from the Gel Moment kit, and we're going to take some Raven's Kiss here and put it along the edge of our nail. We're going to draw from the corner here and kind of put the ombre this way. So I'm just going along the edge of the polish line here with a little bit of polish. So now we're going to take our ombre brush and just tap along here and just at the same time draw the polish down. Just doing super light strokes. Tap, 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 tap. See how I left a little bit of the concentration of the black right at the tip, because we want to get that ombre look where it's going to be really concentrated at the top and then kind of fading out that way. So we want to keep that. And I'm just doing light taps on the way down. And we're going to give this a full cure and then do this one more time. Okay, we'll take our striper brush and do the exact same thing, just putting a little bit of Raven's Kiss along the edge here, filling in this corner a bit because we want to draw it down with our ombre brush. Okay, so this is our ombre brush here, and just do the same thing. At the beginning, I just like to draw it a bit down by applying light pressure, just draw the polish down, and we're going to be doing kind of a tapping motion at the same time. Okay, I do have a little bit on my skin here, so before we put it underneath the lamp, we're going to take our cleanser pad and clean that up. Okay, we'll give that a full cure. Okay, if you're happy with that transition, you can start with the next step, but I'm just going to do one more step just to kind of blend it out a little bit more. I find that the more layers that you have, the easier it is to kind of get that nice ombre look from the darkest to the lightest. So I just put a little bit more Raven's Kiss on here, and I'll use my ombre brush again and lightly drag it down and tap. All right, we'll do a little bit of Chandelier on here I have on the palette. I've cleaned my brush. I don't want the Raven's Kiss and the Chandelier to mix at all. And we're going to basically apply the same principle where we're going to put a little bit along the edge here where it's starting to fade out with the black. And we're going to take our ombre brush that still has the black on it. I have not cleaned it. And we're going to do the same thing and just kind of tap and drag at the same time to put an ombre on top of an ombre. And I find that when you have a little bit of the other polish on here, so I have the Raven's Kiss, the black on the brush still, it's just blending out a bit better and seamlessly. That's all we want, is just a little bit of sparkle. So we'll give that a full cure. Let's coat our bristles of our striper brush and start with the heart. So we'll start on this side, come around, apply light pressure, and create one loop of the heart, okay? Then we'll put some more polish on our brush and then come around this way to create the other part of the heart. There, cute. Let's give that a full cure. So I'm going to show you how to do an ombre with a different tool on the middle finger here, but before I continue on, I find that you need a little bit of Clearly Frisky to kind of bring that ombre together and the little raised levels that we have of the heart. I find that this really finishes off the ombre look. We'll give that a full cure. And then let's see how I'm going to show you how to do the ombre on the next finger. See how that one coat of Clearly Frisky just brings it all together? Okay, so the next finger. Now, I found this on Amazon and I love this for creating ombres. Holy moly, there's this one other look that I'm going to be doing in another video called Ombre Nails. And I'll be using this tool and I'll show you how to use it. So this just comes with sponges on both sides. There's even sponges that has a little bit of a top because you can replace these sponges by just popping them out. I have used this a little bit already. I'm using this for more of the darker colors, and then if I have any lighter colors, I'll use this side. So I've just been playing around with this right here. So now I'm going to be using Raven's Kiss to do this, but I find when you're using the edge of the nail, so if you're not so much focusing on an ombre on the tip, but where you have skin, it will get a bit on your skin, and that is completely okay. You just take your cleanser wipe and wipe this away before you put it underneath the lamp. What I've also discovered is this other tool here called Amelia latex tape. If you're not allergic to latex, then this is pretty good too. And you just put a thin coat around here and then it just needs about, I don't know, 120 seconds, 2 minutes to dry. And then you could just peel it off afterwards. And if there's anything in here, so before you put it under the lamp, you still might get some in your gap. You might want to clean that up. But I've used this too, and this works out great. But I am just going to use a cleanser pad and clean this up before I put it underneath the lamp. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so let's get right to it. Okay, so I have my tool here. I'm going to be working on the side, and I just dabbed it in. So when you dab it in, you want to dab the excess off. So I just kind of dab around here to get that off, and then we're going to put it right on the nail. So I'm going to focus on the corner here and just put light pressure. You don't need to press very hard because I'm also trying to avoid getting it on the skin, right? But it's kind of inevitable, as you can see here. But I find this sponge just has a great gradient on it. I've used makeup sponges depending, like from a couple different companies, and I find that they're very porous. So either they hold if they're very porous, they hold too much polish, and if they're not porous enough, then it doesn't go on. It just ends up being shellacked on. Pardon the tune. It just ends up being the word there. It ends up being like too thick, and it doesn't have this nice gradient to it. So I am just going to do that, kind of match up the look here. So now I do have some on my skin. We'll take a cleanser pad and we'll clean that up. Now you'll notice that there's a bit of pink there. That's okay, we will address that, but let's get this under the lamp first. So now this time around, I'm going to take the striper brush with a little bit of Raven's Kiss, put it closer around the edge here, just a tad bit, so that'll hide that pink. Oh, got some on my skin. That's okay, we're gonna clean that up anyways, right? Then we're going to take our spongy doodle here, tap into the block again and tap out the excess and do the same thing. Now to get more of a gradient there, because it's kind of looking the same, I'm going to continue to tap out the excess and then bring it down a little. Okay, we will clean this up before we put it in the lamp. Okay, let's do that one more time where we're going to put a little bit of black. So we want that concentration more at the edge here because we're having the gradient out from the corner. And then when we apply the sponge thing on here, I call it a sponge thing, the sponge ombre sponge, it'll grab some of this when we are doing the dab, 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 dab. So let's grab a little bit of Raven's Kiss, dab, 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 get the excess off, and then do the same thing. Just focusing on the point. So I find for myself, it's not dark enough right at the edge here, so I'm going to use my striper brush again and apply a little bit on here. And just do one more coat with this. Okay, I like that. We'll give that a cleanup, cure it, and then we'll go into the next step with chandelier. Now to work on the chandelier part, I have the chandelier still on here from before working on this nail. So I'm either going to turn it around and use the corner here or use this side. So I haven't really used this side yet. I'm going to take some, I know I said this is like for more for darks and this is more for lights, but I'm trying to save my sponges too. You know, just trying to make it go as far as I can. So I'm just dabbing it in here and getting the excess off. And again, I'm just going to dab now along the edge where the gradient of the black is almost faded out. Get a little bit more on here. I just think it works so seamlessly with the sponge. Look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're done. So that is the second gradient. I'm going to give this a full cure. We'll do a hard on this one. But what I'm going to do with this one is actually have the gradient from here, from the tip coming into the center of the nail. Anyways, it's the same technique. So whether you use the sponge or the ombre brush, it's totally up to you, or the fan brush. I just wanted to share the technique with you. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and be ready for my next one. Ciao, ciao for now.